Hey, what's up? Tim Werner here. I want to talk to you about inspiration. In terms of defining the vocab word, let's turn to my favorite source lately, ChatGPT. And it says that inspiration is a complex, multifaceted phenomenon that can be described in various ways, depending on context. Psychologically, inspiration is a state of mind where an individual feels highly stimulated and motivated to engage in activities they find meaningful. Right. In the arts, inspiration is considered the process or experience that leads to the creation of new ideas, compositions, artworks. Yeah, that's good enough for me. As a technical trainer and professional writer, I would say that my work in information technology is highly creative. Even when I'm assigned a project, I still have artistic license to a degree. For example, in Pluralsight Library, all of the courses are going to have the same basic flow and structure. All of the PowerPoint presentations will use the same template. That's just brand consistency. But as far as how I go from nothing to a course outline to the delivered product is mine to do, and I'm grateful to be able to have that flexibility. That having been said, I'm not inspired every day. I don't think it's possible to be inspired consistently every single day. I called this video the ebb and flow of inspiration because I find that it is cyclical, that I may have a run of several days of top productivity where each day I'm really excited to get to my desk and to start to build and create, and I'm able to dive in and hyper-focus. And then other times I might have a run that may be as short as just an hour or as long as, in the worst case scenario, a week or more of being in a slump and having my creativity and inspiration at a low ebb. That's where I'm at, to be totally frank. That's where I'm at right now. It's difficult for me to focus on my work today. I'm feeling very drowsy. I'm not getting enough sleep, to be honest with you. That's one fix right there. But what I've developed over the last, I don't know how many years, it's been a slow slog and a slow journey in terms of working around these periods of lower inspiration, is number one, just what's called radical acceptance. Instead of beating myself up or feeling down or discouraged, try to shelve that stuff because it's really not productive in any way, shape, or form. It's certainly not motivational for me when I'm focusing on the negative. Instead, radical acceptance to me means taking a breath and accepting where I am right at this very minute today. I'm feeling drowsy. My concentration's off point. Okay, that's where I'm at. What can I do given this situation? I've recommended the book, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, to quite a few people in quite a few different contexts. I'm not a spiritual or supernatural guy at all. I'm very practical and low to the ground as far as that goes. But that book has some incredible wisdom in it, and one of the four agreements is to always do my best. And that is always do my best in the context or frame of where I'm at day to day. On a day where I'm highly inspired, doing my best is going to be different from a day like today where I'm low motivation, low energy. But I can still do my best even within that frame. That to me is radical acceptance, and I find that to be literally life-saving. Another point for me that I try to practice and I want to pass on to you is to strike while the proverbial iron's hot. Have you heard that idiom before? In other words, when I am experiencing high productivity and high inspiration, it's important that I capitalize on that, knowing that inspiration will ebb and flow, and that if I'm on a peak, ride that for all it's worth and get as much productive work done as possible, because eventually, yes, I will come off that peak, and yes, probably will reach a low ebb before too long. The reverse is also true. I'm in a low ebb, creationally speaking, right now, but I have every confidence that this too shall pass, and I'll be back to baseline and beyond as we continue to move. what I found I can do to help with that ebb process to make the ebb and flow more predictable is to lead a fairly predictable life. I don't know, take it for what it's worth. I'm not claiming to be some kind of guru here. I'm just simply passing along things that I've learned from fellow humans and ones that work for me. I want to pass on to you. That's all I'm doing here. I just want to be clear that I'm not trying to speak from some kind of hilltop. Absolutely not. So predictable life to me means doing the best I can one day at a time to have a balanced life. I live alone here in my apartment. I'm going through a divorce, which that's another whole situation that maybe I'll talk about after it's final on YouTube. But this is the most painful thing I've gone through in my life. So the daily rituals of things like brushing my teeth, taking my nutritional supplements, making sure to put good quality food in my body, move around, get outside, breathe the air, touch the grass, get around other human beings every single day. Those rituals are, again, something that I'm fundamentally holding on to one day at a time and help keep me going as the inspiration level ebbs and flows. Let me see. I've got a little collection of notes here. I think I've covered everything except one. And it's a point that goes along with striking while the iron's hot. And if you talk to professional musicians, oftentimes they'll tell you that nowadays you don't need a portable recorder. Back in the old days, you'd have a micro cassette recorder, but now with smartphones, it's super simple that at the moment of inspiration, capture that down so it doesn't escape your brain. I don't know about you, but my brain tends to be like a sieve. I'll have an inspiration or a thought come in, and if I don't capture that, it's going to go out just as quickly. So I practice a methodology, a productivity methodology called Getting Things Done, or GTD. I would suggest you look into that book. It's by David Allen, Allen. And it's completely revamped my productivity. I've been practicing GTD for probably 16 years now or so. And the main principle of GTD is it's a 5-step workflow, but the main piece is capturing those ideas on the front end in a reliable system. So on my phone, for instance, I have a app called, Facile Things, F-A-C-I-L-E, Things, T-H-I-N-G-S. And it's a software as a service subscription, but it's an easy way to capture audio notes, screenshots, text notes, whatever, and get those ideas and inspirations into this trusted system as soon as possible. Now, is every one of those inspirations going to be quality? No, but I'm not expecting that. The point is to capture everything, and then I regularly review the queue and process what's in my inbox and determine, is this garbage basically, and I can just dismiss it? Is this something that I can act on in the next 2 minutes? And if so, I don't want to procrastinate. I'm going to do it now. Is this something that I have to defer on my calendar and revisit? Or something that I need another human's help with and I'll be waiting on them? So this sort of workflow, it makes a whole lot of sense because GTD, Getting Things Done, has as its main assumption that the brain is like a sieve. And ultimately, what I'm after in productivity is a mind like water. David Allen often will use a metaphor of putting a pebble and a rock and a boulder into a water, just throwing it. And you'll notice that the response of the water to those different inputs is just right to counteract or to absorb that rock, pebble, cement block, whatever it is that you're putting into the water. A mind like water is one that can relax and breathe because I know that my commitments and the things that are important to me, particularly inspirations and creative ideas, is not going to slip through the cracks. It's in my trusted system, so I can let my mind just chill, let everything else dump out of it, because I've got my trusted system that I'll come back to and revisit and process those ideas. Tell you, it really means the world to me because what is more important in life than peace? Peace and love. I know it's the old hippie stereotype, but there's nothing more important than a fundamental sense of mind-body peace and love in terms of my interaction with other humans and other living beings. I don't know. let me get off the soapbox and get back to IT stuff. I hope that this message has a net effect of being fundamentally positive and encouraging. That's my goal. And to remind you to treat yourself gently and lovingly, that when your creativity and your inspiration is at a low ebb, I should say, understanding that this too shall pass. What can I do now, given my current state? Is there anything I can do? Maybe not, and that's all right. But is there one thing I can do in my work, in my personal life, to take a step forward? And you know what? Me recording this video is evidence of that at this very minute. So that makes me happy, because as a technical trainer, I'm most interested in teaching and passing on what I know, or what I think I know confidently enough, in such a way that my students can immediately put it into action. And that's how I, as a student, like to interact with other teachers. That I like to take the lessons that they have, like Ruiz in the book, The Four Agreements, and put them all into practical daily application in my life. Alrighty, that's enough for today. See you next time. Thank you.